I always like to just start with just making sure that we're not just focusing on this combination, but I wanted to make sure we do a little overview. So I think it's always good to kind of get that little bit of background. But all of these nutrients in this product, right? We've got fish oil providing essential fatty acids in the form of EPA and DHA, and now the addition of 1,000 international units of vitamin D. Seems very simple, but so powerful just kind of in that little combination by itself. So EPA and DHA, those are the primary essential fatty acids that we find in fish oil. When we say essential for any nutrient, I always like to just reference this because sometimes that term just gets thrown around, like essential this, essential that, but it means a real thing in nutrition. So it means that you can't make a thing, but you need it to maintain the health of your body. So when we talk about something being essential, an essential nutrient, an essential vitamin, an essential mineral, an essential fat, those are ones that we actually have to get in order to maintain the health of some number of systems in our body. So if you go without them for a long time, you develop a deficiency, and that can cause all manner of problems in your body, in your health. So essential fatty acids, they are a big challenge for Americans to get enough of. We get data out of this from population data that we publish through big studies like the NHANES study. And the most recent data says that 95% of Americans do not get enough essential fatty acids. So that's basically everybody. Okay. I even know myself, I'm a pretty big fish eater. I eat a lot of nuts. I eat a lot of seeds. I'm very mindful of what I eat, and I don't think I meet my EFA needs. And I know what I'm looking for in foods. So I think this is just the kind of nutrition that is harder for people to get, even just to meet their basic requirements. Where do we find these things in nature? I mentioned fish. So fish and other seafood, especially cold water fatty fish. So that's things like salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring, sardines are a great source. And, if you're a big fish lover, fish eater, that's fabulous. Those are good sources. But again, most people don't keep up with their own needs. We also find EFAs in nuts and seeds. So things like flaxseed, chia seed, walnuts, those fats can be also found in those foods as well. I encourage everybody to include all of these things in their diet, but it is still, even if you're being very mindful of that, hard to keep up with needs. What are some of the things we attribute to the health benefits of getting healthy levels of essential fatty acids? There are so many benefits, it's almost hard to list them all. Promotion of healthy mood, improvements in attention and behavior. They are essential for cardiovascular health, including circulation, the maintenance of healthy blood fats like cholesterol and triglycerides, as well as the maintenance of heart rate and rhythm. So that's basically all of cardiovascular health. There is not a part of cardiovascular health that is not benefited from having healthy levels of essential fatty acids circulating in your body. Supporting healthy immunity, they're vital for a healthy pregnancy, particularly DHA. That DHA component is very important for fetal development, particularly fetal brain development. And during pregnancy, a lot of those fats also get incorporated into breast milk. And so that later on, if a woman is breastfeeding, we need to continue that supply of healthy essential fatty acids to nourish a baby. Also the totality of brain health. So not just mood and attention and focus, but these fats actually incorporate themselves into all of the walls of our cells, and your brain is made up of an awful lot of fat. So the more fat in a tissue, like in your brain, the more of these essential fatty acids are in that tissue. So very vital for just structural brain health. Metabolic health. So essential fatty acids play a role in how we regulate metabolism. Also on this list, eye health, joint health, skin health. We could go on for the few bit more, but I think I've hit the high points for EPA and DHA. So there's a reason we include this in sort of foundational essential nutrition as part of BodyWise. We think it's pretty important that people get healthy levels of things every single day. Now, how about vitamin D? I had the lovely pleasure today of talking to the executive director of the Organic and Natural Association. They're one of the industry trade associations, and she even taught me a couple things I did not even know about vitamin D today. Like, I didn't know that there'd been a whole bunch of studies showing that vitamin D could help prevent preterm births in women at risk for delivering babies early. So we had a whole long discussion about that. It was a thing I didn't even know, but wasn't on my list. So I'm just kind of putting that one out there today. Fundamentally, like, the one that vitamin D is famous for is its role in bone health. So it both helps you to absorb calcium from your gut. So vitamin D helps with a signaling process that actually tells your digestive system to pull in calcium and pull it into your circulation. But it also tells calcium where to go. So it's important for bone health in terms of maintaining healthy bone structure. So it's all kind of about signaling, bringing calcium in and telling it where it needs to go in your bones. Supportive for the brain. It's particularly, there's some neuroprotective aspects of calcium, and it helps to regulate some of our brain activity. Supportive for immune health. I think that's something people are becoming increasingly aware of, that if you don't have healthy levels of vitamin D, there's actually parts of your immune system that don't function as well as they should. Promotes muscle health and muscle strength. So we talk about bone a lot with vitamin D, but it's very important that we are able to regulate things like intracellular calcium for muscle contraction, and that's another role of vitamin D in the musculoskeletal system. Benefits for skin health, and I think that kind of hits. I think that hits most of my high points for vitamin D. Also a nutrient where people struggle to get enough. When we looked at what I call sort of the blended statistics on insufficiency, what we say is that about 40% of adults are probably, either low or marginal in terms of their vitamin D status, but there's definitely populations that are significantly more at risk than other populations. So for example, among dark-skinned individuals, those rates of deficiency may be more like 70 or 80% compared to light-skinned individuals. But also people who regularly use sunscreen. I always say that's like all women because it's in all of our makeup. So if you're wearing makeup at all, you're probably wearing sunscreen, whether you are aware of that or not. People who just get minimal sun exposure. So, people working all day long inside an office building where they're not outside getting exposure to natural sunlight. That's definitely a risk. Or people who just cover up, people who wear, clothing that covers most of their skin. I already said dark-skinned individuals with overweight or obesity are at significantly higher risk for vitamin D deficiency. People with restrictive diets, like very strict vegans or strict vegetarians, and also people who live at very high or very low latitudes. So that is all of our friends in Canada. They are all at significantly higher risk for vitamin D deficiency than, say, somebody living in Arizona or Texas, just because they have shorter days for a significant part of the year where they're not getting as much sun exposure. So some things are better together. There's a little bit of magic about putting these nutrients together. I've told you a little bit, kind of about what they do separately. One thing that they do together is these are all, essential fatty acids, they're obviously fats. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble nutrient. So there is just some benefit in your availability to your ability to absorb vitamin D when you're getting those essential fatty acids. So it's kind of a neat way that we can enhance the bioavailability of vitamin D is by putting it into those fats. And these are just some really nice beneficial fats, right? We could put it in something like olive oil, but this way we're getting all of the power of the essential fatty acids and benefiting the absorption of vitamin D. But there's actually some very specific research, some of which I think is really interesting. Mood is probably the one that to me jumps out as being maybe the most interesting synergistic benefit between these nutrients. So vitamin D, serotonin is one of our important neurotransmitters. Hopefully most people I think are aware of hearing of serotonin as one of the important chemicals in your brain for regulating mood. So vitamin D actually regulates the synthesis and production of serotonin EPA, which is one of those essential fatty acids, influences how your neurons release serotonin. And then DHA, which is the other essential fatty acid in fish oil, improves receptor activity. So all three of them, think about that. They're each doing a different part in terms of benefiting how serotonin is acting in the brain. I think that's just the coolest little piece of synergy that I could think of to teach you about today. Better immune function. So there's actually data looking at the synergy between essential fatty acids and vitamin D in immune function, particularly in aging. So, we get natural changes in the immune system as we get older, and this combination seems to be even more beneficial than either nutrient alone. Similarly with aging, there's some very interesting data that says that vitamin D and fish oil will work together to benefit physical strength in aging. So that's something we all care about, right? We know as we get older, it's a little harder to maintain our physical strength. And this combination seems to have the ability to benefit that, especially if people are engaging in some kind of regular exercise. And it may even improve their ability to exercise. So it's really nice kind of addition. And we know people need more of these nutrients as they're aging anyway. We also see some synergy for cardiovascular health. And then particular to women, and interesting enough, this data is primarily in what we say perimenopausal women. So women either just before, during, or after menopause. There are some distinct benefits for both bone health and kidney health with this combination. So many reasons that these things become better together. I love that we have this combination. Steve, you asked a little bit about quality. I heard that up front. I actually had another conversation about this recently, and I think we get a little spoiled here at BodyWise that we've gotten very good at sourcing and vendor relationships over the years, and so we're very picky about that. But a lot of fish oils are very not good quality out there in the market. This is one of those nutrients that buying cheap sources is not a benefit to you. So these fats are actually somewhat delicate if they are not handled, processed properly from the earliest point in processing all the way through the time they get into a bottle. There is a risk of them becoming rancid. And rancid fats are dangerous. I don't have another word for them. They turn into being from these wonderful beneficial substances to becoming basically free radicals that can damage your cells. So having a very good, properly handled, properly sourced fish oil is really important. And, I will also emphasize the price on this product from this company is phenomenal. So if you go out and you found something of a comparable dose and a comparable quality, a lot of those products are going to be 20 to 50% more than you're paying for the BodyWise product. Some even higher. I know some companies that sell very similar quality products for $60 to $80 for 60 capsules. So the price on this is spectacular for all of the things that we just talked about.